Yo, loved ones, what's cracking? It's your favorite immature father, me, Lexus King. We're in the entertainment room, or I like to say my productive room. This is like the dojo. This is the place where I like to hone my craft, hone my skill. Oh, matter of fact, before I forget, we still have some inventory. We've got lanyard, we've got those sick flight tags, and we've got just one backpack left, only one left. Link will be down there in the description. Hit that link, help support the channel, and I appreciate you. This is the Xbox station right here. For me, you can tell by my cars and my motorcycles, I like vintage things. These are all of my old consoles, or some of them actually. There's still some more in there, but all of my old consoles, the ones that I still like to play, like currently we've got Tokyo Extreme Racer, actually the one that started it all. So we've got the good old Dreamcast, which I swear Xbox copied Sega and killed Sega. But anyway, man, this is the room. This is the entertainment room. Gran Turismo, I spend most of my time over there. On the PlayStation side, obviously you can see steering wheel, VR, everything. I don't use controls. I typically don't use controls because this is the controller era. So anyway, I was hyped because I had to repair both of the pedals. Both of the pedals are now clean. There usually was like some kind of interference of brakes applying or gas applying improperly. Now everything acts as it should. So let's just jump into some gaming. I've been doing a lot of racing for the last couple of days. Here's a couple highlights from this weekend. We're going to start with an actual race with GT Sport. We got some friends, DJ Frozone. He's a driver in a Canadian racing series. Does pretty good. We launch off. I'm coming around him just because it looks like he had a bad start. I don't know, but I was focused on making my start stick. We come out, we run out the gates. My biggest fear was that Viper, but we seem to be pretty good at turn one. Now, all of these guys are seemingly good drivers, real drivers, so I didn't even feel like I was worried about running up front because I felt that they would have a good etiquette as we come down into here. I'm getting a little bit of space on them. On top of this, I'm not too sure of my confidence on this track. Certain corners really catch me off guard still. Like before this race, I had a terrible one because my seating position in the Ferrari was really low. I drive inside the car all the time, so it really does matter when you have a really low seating position. Damn it, I'm getting Gap City out here. I am running this to the fullest. Now, Mr. Frozo does drive turbo vehicle in real life, so I'm assuming that that Audi is turbo as well. Gran Turismo in this game does an awesome job of turbo cars being way faster than the rest of the pack. So I was just trying to get up out of there, and you can see him come around that Viper on the backside, but this is my favorite part of the track right here, that downhill off run through the zones. This one will catch you off because you can kind of run wide, so I stay my best on the apron. As we're coming through, I mean, we're pretty much completing the first lap, and we're not going to have to totally sit here and run through every lap, but I'm just going to show you the key points, which made this race really interesting. You kind of get this from real drivers instead of guys that just want to be the fastest. Real drivers offer you the best challenge and make the races way more exciting. Hopefully I can find like some Euro beat to play over this or whatever. So as we fast forward through a ton of just regular stuff, you see I'm out front, we're running around. He did close the gap. I noticed he was closing about 600ths of a second here and there, but he got a penalty because he cut the track, and we start back in right here. As we're coming into the brake zone, we only got 2 more laps left. I noticed he had a penalty, and as I looked back on my rear view camera, it put me off the track because I wasn't paying attention to turning in. So I regather myself, but I figure this works out in my best favor because as we go shorter with the laps available, I figured having him right there would let me keep my eye on him, right, and see how he drives. So come around this corner, I'm taking it wide only because I wanted to get a little bit of space so I can close on a draft. And this area right here is really quick, really fast, left-hander uphill, and I liked my odds at this corner. I seen that I was really planted, and he was protecting that inside line really good. So I come around just to kind of peek at him, get in his mirrors. That's why I made this car bright yellow so that it could be in his mirrors. But look, I hit the braking zone, and I was going to dive in, but he got there and blocked me on that. So I noticed, like, oh, okay, that's what time it is, right? So he's got experience. He's a really good defensive driver when he needs to be. So I gave the space just not to screw up this portion of track, but I started to kind of choose where I wanted to line this up, because I was dedicated to passing him, because we only had 2 laps left. We're ending our second lap and going into the last lap left. So I had to decide where I was going to pass him. And from what I saw, I figured I had one spot that I know I could get him at. So coming around here, I'm just trying to stay close, because like I said, this turbo car will make a gap on you, and you want to stay in the draft. So I'm staying in the draft as best I can. Want to keep the little bit of space so that I can close in and then get on the braking zone early, because I don't want him to tow me off to the end of the kitty litter. So as I'm running down, I flash him just to kind of distract him a little bit, but that doesn't do nothing to him. He was ice cold. So I got in the braking zone, everything was fine, and now I'm going to start making my looks. So here's where it's got to count, because this is essentially the final lap. He's still quick, he's staying mid-track here and there. And as we go into this corner, I kind of line up where I want to go. We're coming into the slowest section, the very slowest section of this track. So boom, I peek in and I saw him close the door on me. Look at that. So I'm like, okay, I'll peek outside. Messed up my line a little bit, but here's where I'm going to use my advantage. When I saw that door open, I dove in for it. So now I know he's pinched on the inside, and I just keep my foot to the floor and run right around him. He can't go out wide to keep his speed bleeding out, because he would have pushed me off the track. So that was why I capitalized on the position. So now he's gonna peek inside, but I'm gonna close the door on him just like he did on me, and just out accelerate down this front straight, or the back straight I should say. Nice calm braking zone here, and just ran outside. Just kept the momentum going, because this is pretty much the end of the track. This is the end of the race. He has to strike. If he can't strike, I'm in the best position to win. It's about done. So as I come around here, I'm staying really tight, really defensive on the inside, not allowing any room if he decides to try to attack. But I put a little bit of gap on him so he wasn't able to attack. So as we run out here, I dip out and I see him. He just got an inch too wide and went off the track. And that was essentially the end. That was the end of the battle. Really good battle, really good guy, great driver, and I appreciate battles like this. So now here's me driving on Assetto Corsa, alien mode, driving by myself with a bunch of unbeatable drivers, basically is what alien mode is. I slip right up the inside and I'm just having a blast driving through Spa. Spa is one of my favorite tracks. GT4, Maserati, MC12, or not MC12, but the MC GT4 Maserati is my favorite car. So we fly through here and I'm just keeping my momentum up. I don't like going out here because you lose a good bit of momentum and you can't spin tires and spin out. But that risk was taken and it played out to be okay. But I've just been all over the place with gaming this week, and I really wanted to jump in on everything so I can just feel my pedals out and get back in the flow of it. Absolutely love this track. I love the feel of this track, and it has a very good rhythm, and when you get it right, you feel super rewarded. So don't take it that me running through the whole pack as soon as the race started was easy, because it absolutely isn't. And rumor has it, Spa's going to be coming to Gran Turismo very soon. So I'm really hoping that I can get some practice in so I can keep my skills sharp on Spa. Spa was an amazing track to drive, but they took it out of GT Sport, and we got to play quite a bit on GT6 with this track. So I don't like that they keep taking tracks out, but we'll get them soon. I just want to keep my skills sharp. So we'll clear out of this to a game that people never feel that I play enough. So here's Forza, and we've all drifted on Forza. Everybody's always drifted on Forza, right? So I'm doing the opposite. Well, I'm trying to do the opposite, trying to grit, but Forza doesn't handle too good. And this is definitely a classification of a sim cave. Like, Forza has ideas that are similar to sim, but it's an arcade game. Like, you can kind of see the hand movements and everything. There's a lot of steering going on when this car should be glued to the pavement. Because this is the same 458 that I drove in GT Sport, but this is the GT3 version, so you can see the interior, the monitor on the dash, everything. I know this car like the back of my hand. I drive it on the Settle Corsa Project Cars and Gran Turismo a lot. So I'm good with this platform, but knowing all the other platforms, this just did not seem accurate to me. Now, another thing about accuracy is Sonoma Raceway. Y'all know I damn near live at Sonoma. Some of these elevation changes aren't right. Like, this right here should be wider and a little bit more of the elevation. And then this right here is not that, like, that dip, that's not there. That doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in that fashion, I should say. Then there's also a dip right here that doesn't exist like this. Like this right here, this is not downhill like that. So I don't fully fault them for trying to make the game exciting, but it's just not real, realistically speaking. Now here's Project Cars. Project Cars gives you the realistic experience. Sounds better too. Everybody always says Forza sounds amazing, but certain times Forza's okay. Project Cars sounds great right here. Now, I did run 1.5 seconds faster here on Project Cars than I did with Forza. Reason being is the braking. The braking on Forza is so iffy, it'll just lock the car up when you touch the brakes. It's just absolutely too much brakes. And when you go around corners, it's never the same corner twice. Sometimes you'll have understeer, sometimes you'll have oversteer. Project Cars 2 is very, very streamlined. The experience that you get is going to be generally the same way, lap after lap after lap. And I can appreciate that because aside from conditions changing with track temperatures and, you know, oil down on the track or maybe something like that, real race experience, as long as the car holds up, is consistent lap after lap. Consistency wins races. So I like that experience here that you get from Project Cars 2. Now, as you see right here, you don't get that big old dip or that big ass elevation change that just out of nowhere comes in Forza. Right here as well, you run into it, and this is generally a flat surface. We drift here, we grip here. I've experienced that surface in that corner front to back, so, you know. Oh, and also, water doesn't pool up there. If that dip was like that in Forza, water would pool up there, and water doesn't pool up there. It runs across the track because there's a hill from the entry gate where water runs through that and it drains across the track, which I don't like, but let's just look at this. Forza does look pretty good, but the car movements are really strange. So I'm gonna shut up for a second, look at this, enjoy it, and I'll be right back. Lighting and the scenery, that's the east right there over those hills. Sun rising in the east and it sets in the west, so you know this is early morning. This, I don't know about the lighting. Gran Turismo's lighting is so pure that this just seems super overdone to me, but you can almost tell what part of the day that this is, and I'm a real stickler on that. They almost did a good job. It's just too many dark shadows and too much weird ambient light. It just ain't right. It's not fully right. Now you look at Project Cars, same thing. This is the same time of day. Now, although there's different weather conditions on this one, there just isn't the accurate type of daytime morning lighting. But this looks a little bit better. This looks a little bit better. There's not as much shadowing going on, things like that, because the sun is at a higher position. It's like 9 o'clock on both of these. It was about 9 o'clock. So, this kind of looks like 9 a.m. for real. West Coast time during the summer, that's how it's all set up on here. I put it summer 9 a.m., which I really like that effect. Gran Turismo doesn't allow you to do that. They used to, and they should get back to that. But they just have time periods. You don't know what season it is. You just know the time that you can grab. And that's kind of what Forza's doing. And I don't totally like that. I like full immersion. If I want a hot track, a sticky track, a good prep track, that's cool. Assetto Corsa allows you to do that. It sets track prep in daytime, not even nighttime, but you can get like track conditions, temperatures, time of day. Project Cars, it's the same thing. So I really like that. But yeah, these are just two games that I don't typically show a lot when I'm playing games, but I do play them. I do get my practice in a ton. Project Cars, Assetto Corsa, Forza, Gran Turismo. At any time, you can find me on all of those. So yeah, guys, thank you for joining me with this. It was a little bit of a break of a difference in content. I know I haven't been doing a lot of car stuff, and that's typically an oddity here on this channel. I love doing motorsports as far as drifting and gripping, things like that, and hanging out with my friends, car meets, all that shit. But I haven't been able to do that lately because, for one, my wife has been injured. She tore her Achilles, and that's been for the last couple months. You know, she's not like fully incapacitated or whatever. She doesn't need help with the kids, but I mean, it would just kind of feel weird that she's sitting at home all day by herself with the kids, and then when I get home off of work, I just take off and go do some shit with the homies. That's just kind of inconsiderate. So until she gets back on her feet, to the point where, you know, she's not fully injured and limping around, I kind of just been hanging around a little bit, just to be considerate, like I said. I just don't want to bounce out on her and leave her for dead and just, you know, leave her at the house with a baby and a little teenager that swears Fortnite is the shit. But if you know, like I know, that's the Battle Royale boss. Do you know? Do you know what the hell you looking at? We're going to end this vlog real quick. I got some sim racing to do. If you do want to run with me, SYTFU_Lex is my PSN, and on here, I don't remember. I think it's Riot Squad LLC. Yeah, Riot Squad LLC on Xbox. So other than that, we're gonna end this vlog 2 up, 2 down, and we gone.